There were some odd moments and also some fun moments with the testimony of Nathan Wade and Fani Willis in Atlanta yesterday on the matter of whether or not she will be allowed to stay on the case and prosecute Trump and associates. And again, based on that performance, I'm afraid she's going to get bounced, but I certainly don't want her to get bounced because she would be a de facto member of the Trump and company criminal defense team based on what I saw from her temperament, likability, legal knowledge, ethical standards, and so forth. But let's start with Wade for a second, because he actually was responsible, proper demeanor. I mean, there was a lot of Clintonian word parsing, but my favorite moment from Nathan Wade was when he's asked about whether he's ever taken Fani to a cabin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he sort of froze up.
Did you go to a cabin with Miss Willis ever?
Ever.
You've never gone to a cabin with Miss Willis?
No.
All right. That little careless whisper interlude was post-production from our friends at Citizen Press. But yeah, 15 seconds he was sort of looking up at the ceiling tile and trying to...
Well, he was probably just deciding what defines a cabin. Is it a log cabin? Like, what's a cabin?
Maybe he was remembering a romantic evening they had at said cabin or someplace else. Maybe just waxing nostalgic about his time with the lovely Fani Willis.
You know what? I don't think they're going to make it as a couple after this. This might be really stressful on the relationship, and they might.
That's not what Wade said.
Oh, it's not?
Well, they're friends now. They're not. They're not lovers anymore. Another word I hate. They're
I was
friends
for those two.
And their friendship has ever been stronger because of the attacks they're under. That's what Wade testified to. But Fani also, look, she takes no prisoners. Okay. There was a lot of confusion about what constitutes a romantic relationship by both of them, which is some of the silliness you get in these proceedings, the parsing, as I was mentioning. But I just, I love this, the back and forth, as painful as that was to listen to ugly older people talking about what constitutes a romantic relationship in too much detail. But look, when it comes to romance, Fani Willis wants to get down to business.
You hired Mr. Wade for the first time on November 1st of 2021, correct?
November of 2021, yes,
Okay.
sir.
Your testimony is, whether one accepts it or not, your testimony is that at the time you hired Mr. Wade, there had never been a romantic relationship with Mr. Wade before you hired him, correct?
Yes, my testimony is that we were very good friends, but not, well, we're talking about his sex, so let's just don't.
No, I'm not talking about, I'm saying romantic relationship doesn't necessarily have to be just sex.
Well,
It can
I
be
don't-
dating, it can be holding hands, it can be any of those things that one might call romantic. I'm asking you whether or not prior to November 1st of 2021, there was a romantic relationship with Mr. Wade. It's very simple. It's either a yes or a no.
I don't consider my relationship with him to be romantic before that. I'm not a hand holder, so no.
That's fine. Now,
I mean, she is so smug. I want to just.
I'm not. Hey,
Hey.
Fani Willis, I'm not a handholder. No kisses on the mouth.
Yeah.
All right.
Too bad her friend Rob and her girl pal, well, former girl pal, they're not friends anymore, Dan, said that they were, canoodling and kissing and hugging back in 2019.
Willis had some fits of anger throughout the proceeding, reminding those in attendance and the larger community riveted to her testimony that she's not on trial here. She's not on trial here.
Well, no, look. I object to you getting records. You've been intrusive into people's personal lives. You're confused. You think I'm on trial. These people are on trial for trying to steal an election in 2020. I'm not on trial, no matter how hard you try to put me on trial.
So my question was, do you have any
I
problem?
object to getting any personal records of mine.
We're not dealing with privilege through a witness.
And I'm not, no, I'm not dealing with privilege. What we had offered to put them in camera for the court to review, and I just want to know if she has any
That's not
problem.
something you deal with a witness.
And then the witness went on to offer this Jeremiah.
You're out of order. You're out of order. The whole trial is out of order. They're out of order. Son of a bitch, you. You're supposed to stand for something. You're supposed to protect people.
Yeah.
I just learned too much. I know her 50th birthday, she said, was a disaster. And I'm like, well, come on. We want to hear more about it. Like, she was just going off on tangents.
A lot of courtroom drama. For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by our friend George Parry, former federal and state prosecutor. Wonder if he's ever had to cross swords with Fani Willis. And also he blogs at knowledgeisgood.net. George, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, glad to be with you.
So you're pretty impressed with Fani Willis's defiance on the stand yesterday?
Yeah, she was just terrific. You know, at one point, when she was explaining why she didn't benefit from these trips that she took with Nathan Wade, where Wade was paying for them with his credit card, she said, well, I paid him back in cash. And the question became, well, where'd you get the cash? Did you go to the ATM machine? She said, no, I keep cash in my home. My father, the Black Panther, told me that a woman like me should always have at least 6 months worth of cash in the home. And I'm thinking, oh, gee, the old cash hoard trick. We haven't seen that.
What'd you call her? What did you call her?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. I knew you were going to jump on that. But you know, you guys are yet to get the big enchilada. One of the line items on Wade's travel account was $74.15 spent in a tattoo parlor in Belize.
Oh, yeah.
When he and Fani were
You're
down.
mine.
So
Where is that?
So if
Where is
I'm
that
doing-
I Heart Fani tattoo, Mr. Wade? Tell us.
yeah, and where is it on her? I mean, I love Nathan. Or, you know,
Oh,
Well-
God. Oh, gee, I don't want to think about that. Yeah.
this is the kind of stuff that trial lawyers pray for. So if
This is not exactly
actually,
Bogey and Bacall, is it? No.
No, it's not. It's about as ugly as it can get. And all I could think of as she was waddling up to the stand is, where is that tattoo, Fani?
Oh, boy.
Is it on
Maybe
Fani's fanny? I mean,
Well,
Don't
maybe they'll
show
ask
us.
today. But I got to tell you, I learned a lot about dating because, you know, when she goes on dates.
No Fani
have-
today. No Fani today.
she-
They're not. No questions for her today. I think
Oh,
think
because
they're
of her
gonna.
poor performance yesterday?
Why sell past the close, Your Honor? We're done.
Oh, I was waiting, watching CNN. Waiting. Oh, yeah, you're right. She's not going to testify. Boo.
We
There
got
goes
enough.
my Friday plan. But what I
We got
learned
enough
from her
Fani
yesterday.
to last us a while.
Yeah, is that when you go out on dates, you got to carry cash because in case it doesn't work out right, you have to have
Yeah,
money to
sure.
get home. Okay.
yeah. Well, apparently she had enough cash, you know, to pay thousands to Nathan. She just dipped into the old till that she keeps at home and handed him the cash. Of course, there's no record of any
Right.
of
I think
this.
it's a bunch of BS.
And, you know, that's about average.
Hey, you don't tell her what bills to pay.
Oh, that's
You don't
right.
tell her what bills to pay, George. You don't tell
There's
me
a
I gotta
tax lien,
pay my
yeah.
tax lien instead of going to Aruba. You don't tell me that.
Well, the thing is, when she was saying that, and forgive me if I'm repeating myself, but it just hit me so hard. As she is giving this explanation, this absolutely ludicrous explanation that she keeps this cash in her home and she paid him back in cash, she actually partially covered her mouth with her hand.
Yep.
This is what's known in the trade as a tell.
Oh, you think? Yeah.
Yeah, she absolutely knows that it's total horse manure, but hey, why not peddle it? And you know, it was. I thought it was just great entertainment. I can't thank her enough for the show she put on. And, where it goes from here, who knows?
Well, I mean, do you think there's any possibility that that judge leaves her on this case? I mean, it's fairly convincing that she and Nathan Wade misrepresented their relationship to the court, for starters.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how do they keep her on the case? How does that judge keep her on the case?
I mean, based on what we saw yesterday, there's no way that she should continue on the case. But you never know what a judge is going to do. You never know what a jury's going to do. But we used to have a saying in the Philadelphia DA's office when you had a trial just to a judge. The only way you're going to get an honest trial before a judge is both sides have to wire the case. That way he's got to decide it on the merits. I don't know this judge. I don't know anything about him. He may be the greatest guy in the world, most honest guy in the world. Certainly he has excellent judicial demeanor. But you don't know what he's going to do.
I think
what we saw yesterday. Based on what we saw yesterday, he should disqualify her. And if he disqualifies her, that takes out the whole Fulton County District Attorney's Office. And then the case has to be reassigned.
Well, I mean, unless she would take herself out in advance of his decision and turn it over to a senior,
true.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. That's
true.
the play.
If she
play.
said, I'm out of here. Yeah, she could try that dodge. That would be one way of avoiding it. But let's assume that she's disqualified by the court. Well, then the question becomes, where does the case go? Now, there are competing narratives out there in the media. One group says, Governor Brian Kemp will make the decision about where the case goes. Well, that'd be a hoot, because Trump, in his own inimitable way, dumped all over Brian Kemp after the election for not getting on board with his effort to change the outcome. But I think really what's going to happen here is there is an outfit down there called the Prosecuting Attorneys Council of Georgia, which is a state entity that would take on the task of reassigning the case elsewhere to another DA's office down there.
Or do you think there's any chance it'd be dropped? I mean, I know four people already pled guilty, but is there any chance of that?
No, I don't.
No.
I didn't see anything, and I don't see anything on the horizon that would warrant dismissal of the case, but another DA who might drop it, depending on who the DA is.
Well, right. I mean, you could say, look, this racketeering case is
nonsense,
legal, legal nonsense, and so I'm not going to try this case. I'm using my prosecutorial discretion. That's always a possibility. But if it goes to trial with somebody more competent than Fani Willis, which would I assume be just about everybody else, they may regret bouncing her. By the way, I got to tell on the judge and what he's going to do. Unfortunately, he was a member of the Federalist Society, so he takes the canons of law seriously based on that. So he probably will. He probably will bounce her.
Well, I take back everything I said about the guy. No, that's a serious judge. Then, if he's a member of the Federalist Society, then he's a serious guy.
Right. So he's not going to give much latitude to Fani after yesterday, I presume.
Yeah. And there's another option here available where the Prosecuting Attorneys Council of Georgia could also turn this over to private lawyers. And there are plenty of Democrat lawyers who would come in, much like they did in the Derek Chauvin case, where the white shoe firms in Minneapolis staffed up the Attorney General's office to massacre Chauvin. There'd be plenty of Democrat lawyers that fly in from all over the country to get admitted to take the case. So where it goes from here is anybody's guess. On the merits, I think that Fani gets disqualified and the case goes elsewhere in Georgia. And anywhere outside of Fulton County would be an improvement. So
maybe call Trey Gowdy, see if he wants to pick it up. George Parry, former federal and state prosecutor, regular contributor to the American Spectator, who blogs at knowledgeisgood.net. George, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Okay. Being with you.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
At Turnkey, we understand that success isn't just about the bottom line. It's about creating a business that aligns with your own personal goals and aspirations. Hi, this is David Kolsak, president and founder of Turnkey. Nearly 3 decades ago, I started my own business so that I could have control of my financial destiny. I also wanted the freedoms of flexible work hours, family time, and to pursue my own passions. Now, my team of veteran consultants and technicians